Just 2 years prior to this, 21-year-old Frank Singleton was being released from Palm Beach County Jail, having just served time for a trespassing charge. The only issue was he didn't have a car to leave the jail, so he decided to steal one from the visitors' parking lot, yet the car he decided to steal was a manual, and he could only drive auto. Singleton sat in the car looking like an idiot before being arrested and sentenced to a further 6 years in prison, telling deputies that he tried to take the car because he didn't feel like walking to his home about 6 miles away.
Number 1. A 21-year-old guy called Frank Singleton just released from jail. The very first thing he did after getting released was to visit the prison parking lot and carjack a woman. Even though he was successful, he got in the car and realized he didn't know how to drive a manual. He was sent back to jail immediately. The police asked him why he did it, why he couldn't even wait more than a few minutes to return to his life of crime, to which Frank replied, "I didn't feel like walking."
Ruben Zarate. While attempting to rob a muffler shop in 2008, Zarate was told that the shop couldn't access the money safe without their manager, who didn't begin his shift until later that afternoon. Instead of bailing on the robbery, Zarate instead gave them his phone number, asking them to give him a ring the next time the manager was in. They did so later that afternoon, although after returning to the store, Zarate received no money and was instead met by police and charged with aggravated robbery.
Number 13. An 18-year-old robber in Chicago tried to rob this muffler shop, but when he busted in armed to the teeth demanding money, he heard something no robber ever wants to hear. The money was in the safe, and the only person who could get into the safe was the manager, who wasn't there. Instead of, cutting his losses, this guy does the unthinkable thing. He writes down his phone number, hands it to the employees, and tells them to ring him back when they have the money. The instant he walked out of the door, the employees called the police, they rang the robber and had him walk straight back into the shop, only to get slapped with handcuffs.
But was he as dumb as Derek Mosley, who in 2013 attempted to rob a store named Discount Gun Sales by using a baseball bat? When Mosley allegedly barged into Discount Gun Sales and smashed the display counter with his baseball bat, the store manager simply pulled out his own personal firearm and pointed it straight at the would-be robber, holding Mosley in the store until he was arrested and charged with first-degree robbery.
Number 4. This one guy, Derek Mosley, walked into a gun store wielding a baseball bat and tried to steal a gun. Tried to steal a gun from a gun store with a baseball bat. He smashed the glass display case and attempted to take one of the firearms, but things didn't quite go right for him. Suffice to say, the store's owner laughed, pulled out a gun, and kept Derek in his crosshairs until the police could arrive to arrest him.
It's time to introduce 53-year-old Michael Anthony Fuller. While it's common knowledge that the US banknote doesn't go any higher than $100, Fuller had the genius idea to create a counterfeit $1 million note before trying to use it at his local Walmart. He loaded his cart with a vacuum cleaner, a microwave, and various other items totaling $472 before handing the $1 million note to the cashier, expecting $999,528 in change. Needless to say, Walmart wasn't able to facilitate this, and instead store staff called police. Fuller was later charged with attempting to obtain property by false pretense and uttering a forged instrument.
Number 3. One older guy called Michael Anthony Fuller, who had the balls to create his own counterfeit money, didn't realize that subtlety is key when he made a visit to Walmart to cash in a $1 million bill. For his $500 purchase, he asked for $999,000 in change, to which the police were called in. They spent a good deal of time staring in disbelief at this ludicrous $1 million bill before they slapped him with an attempt to obtain goods under false pretense.
However, if we're on the topic of terrible disguises, then we can't go past Dennis Hawkins, whose disguise as an old lady wasn't much better. His sweater accompanied fake boobs, a full beard, and fittingly clown pants, with his insanely recognizable outfit helping police to catch Hawkins only an hour after the robbery. The police chief for the area stated, "He would get my nomination for dumbest criminal, I think. You still have his black facial hair with a blondish wig. Definitely different."
Number 2. A 48-year-old criminal called Dennis Hawkins, who unsuccessfully tried to rob a bank on 2 separate occasions wearing an amazing disguise. He wore a blonde wig, fake breasts, clown pants, and a goatee, trying to pass himself off as the burliest woman imaginable, with nothing covering his face, which made him the most conspicuous man on earth. A gas station attendant later reported some idiot dressed like a woman had tried to steal a car, and police nabbed him up straight away.